Ubizo Lungibize engalweni Ngiyokhalela bani nayi iphimbo lami liphindaphinde entabeni Ngithi inyawo zami ngibeleze kulomhlaba nemsini Ngifunana noxolo engalweni
Sawana to you, sawana to yours, from one great spirit to another. Welcome to Ubizo. Today's episode is titled The Economy of Enslavement, How Money Became God. They wrote laws, they wrote ledgers, they taught us to kneel not to ancestors but to numbers. They made a god with ink and paper and called it progress. This episode peels back the ledger. We trace how money, once a means of exchange, became the architecture of spiritual enslavement, and we map the roads out. Trade is ancient. Exchange is human. Salt for gold, beads for cattle, commerce as reciprocity. But empire turned exchange into extraction. When Europe industrialized, it needed capital, real wealth to fund ships, banks, and factories. The profits of slavery and colonial plunder became seed capital for banks, railways, and modern industry. Human lives were counted as asset, collateral in the formation of the global economy. Wealth built on blood was then legitimized as investment. Plantations, mines, and plantations of people that fed the ledgers. And the new accountants wrote the first commandment of empire, profit before people. There's a Zulu idiom saying something to the effect of umnotho owenziwe ngegazi awunako ukuthula. This would mean an economy made by blood will never deliver happiness. Money was given a theology, invisible hands, divine market, moral neutrality. These were the new scriptures. The market was no longer a tool, it became arbiter. If prophets said something was valuable, then that thing became sacred. Nature became resource, people became labor, time became billable. This is spiritual violence. It's spiritual violence because it replaces collective obligation with private accumulation. It trains hearts to worship scarcity, to measure life's worth in currency units. And I say this because when money is God, the poor are merely moral failures. The environment is externality, and the child who plants a tree is far less valuable than the child. They baptized ledgers with holy names, made gods in columns and lines. They taught us to pray in interest, to confess in receipt and fines. They learned how to bind without change. They called it credit. Loans that lift some to power but tether many to dependence. Post-independence Alkebulan met this machine. Colonial infrastructures expensive to run, new states needing capital, foreign banks ready to lend, but the terms were traps. Interest compounds, date compounds, indignity. Structural adjustment turned sovereign needs into conditional mercy. Cut social services, privatize, and open borders for extractive capital. Corporations and financial institutions gained instruments to extract value without boats on the ground. Trade rules that favor vanished goods outside Africa, royalties that leave communities with pennies, intellectual property regimes that privatize traditional knowledge. The result? Dependency dressed as development. Debt takes what remains of wealth. The economy is not only political, it is cultural. Money taught us what to value. The colonial economy implanted categories: status by currency, respect by bank balance, beauty by brand. It taught us to equate dignity with the ability to consume foreign goods. We began to measure the worth of a life by imported goods, clothes, by degrees printed on paper, by the lights in a house wired to foreign power. The more we chased the currency god, the more we let go of communal wealth. ritual, and reciprocity. We worship brands and celebrities. We worship growth measured quarterly, not healing measured generationally. We call this modernity, but it is spiritual amnesia. We traded lullabies for ledgers, rhythms for receipt. Now the child asks, how much? Before asking, who? Naming the wound is not enough. We need a program. Spiritual, economic, legal, cultural. Here are some concrete moves we can begin today. Number 1, debt audit and repudiation campaigns. What do I mean? Audit colonial and illegitimate debt. Campaign for debt cancellation where debt finance oppression. Demand transparency in loan terms. Begin local public conversations and also educate communities about sovereign debt. Number 2, reparations and restorative justice. National and Pan-African reparation programs, financial, cultural, and material restitution. Pursue legal and political pathways for compensation, return of looted artifacts, and institutional accountability. Number 3, community currencies and mutual credit systems. Create local currencies and time banks that keep value inside communities. These systems reward local labor and service exchange. Also reduce dependence on volatile foreign currencies. Number 4, cooperative and shared ownership. Scale worker-owned cooperatives in agriculture, mining, and manufacturing. Build value chains that process locally and profit locally. Legal frameworks to support co-ops and community trusts. Number 5, resource sovereignty and legal reform. Enforce extractive contracts transparency. Rewrite mining and land laws to protect communal rights. Stipulate on the ground beneficiation and local hiring clause. Number 6, ethical finance and sovereign wealth models. Build African-owned and managed banks, credit unions, and sovereign wealth funds designed for public good, not private gain. Invest in regenerative industries, agroecology, clean energy, cultural industries. Number 7, education of the new economy. Teach financial literacy rooted in indigenous ethics. Blend bookkeeping with Ubuntu, investment with reciprocity, profit with purpose. And also train the youth in cooperative management in ethical entrepreneurship. Number 8, cultural shift and moral economy. Revive rituals of reciprocity, public currencies of honor, praise, land stewardship, festivals of giving, tax systems that reward communal work, story currencies that value care and memory. Number 9, regional trade and intra-African market. Strengthen continental trade networks that keep the value inside the continent. Grow the AFCFTA into a platform that builds manufacturing, not merely exporting raw materials. Number 10, political alignment and international pressure. Pan-African diplomatic coalitions that demand fair trade, fair debt, and return of stolen wealth. Use international law, public pressure, and strategic alliance to change the rules. NgesiZulu sithi izandla ezibambene ziphakamisa izizwe. Hands that hold together lift nations. Economic freedom is first spiritual practice. This week, start small. Acts that change habits. Start small. Acts that change habits and heart. Hold a communal market where no currency changes hands. Barter skills, produce, and songs. Plant a shared food garden and teach children the time of the seasons, not the hours of the bank. Commit to 1, buy local month. Follow your money home and see who profits. Also start a cooperative savings circle, a modern stokvel rooted in older forms of mutual respect. These acts rewire the soul. They teach our children that value is made by care, not by coins. We will not kneel to their leisure any longer. We will stand in the soil, palms open, pockets full of seed. We will trade in blessing, not in bondage. Bantwana be Alkebulan. The economy was never meant to enslave you. It was meant to orbit your life, not to contain it. This month, gather 6 neighbors, start a savings circle, read one book on cooperative economics, teach one child how to bake, build, or grow, and swap the result for a service. This year, build one cooperative, plant one community orchard, demand one debt audit. These are small acts, but they are the currency of freedom. You are not waiting for permission. You are the bank of the future. You are the treasury of the ancestors. Start now. They made money a god so that we would worship scarcity. They built empires on ledges and called it civilizations. But the gods of ink are false. We are the living treasury. Our wisdom, our land, our songs. These are the real capital. Because when we honor them, interest becomes blessing. Debt becomes duty to repay. Markets become gathering of mutual care. Until next time, okuhle, umusa, kanye nokukhanya ekuhambeni kwakho. Light, mercy, and blessings upon your journey. Ubizo, the call continues.